This is literally constantly what we have to deal with here. So anytime you're like anywhere, she has to come over. She has to lay on you. Daisy, Daisy, what you doing? What you do? She's a nut. So just in the garage, just doing just some of the touch up on the rust that was happening on BigBlacks plow, and just using a Rust-Oleum, prepping it with some Duplicolor enamel reducer or lacquer thinner. Just basically just to clean it up. Take this off now. Spray them with my glasses on. But anyways, I'm just going to kind of evacuate the garage right now. Just get some of these fumes out of here. Not really breathing in any of the paint anymore. Just going to continue working on BigBlacks plow. I did square away this edge right here, so that's looking really nice. Just broke out the body hammers and the backup bars, and just, you know, did what I had to do. And then right here, so you can see how much of a smack it was. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fix this up right here. Get that plow blade all polished up. It's stainless steel, so I might do like a very light, well, actually you can see. So what I've been doing is using a scuffy, a steel wool pad. Cleaning up real nice, getting all that smoothness back. And the snow, in my opinion, is just going to glide right off this plow. But you can see what I'm doing. I'm just kind of getting into those areas right here. I'm doing one side, then I'll do the other. And I got a TV now for my toolbox. So this will work out nice. It's an older Vizio TV. I do have to get like a Roku stick or one of those kind of Fire Sticks or something, or a Chromecast on this particular TV, which, you know, all I want to do is probably watch YouTube or throw on a couple movies or whatever. Is what it is. We'll do a toolbox tour at some point. Got my speaker up there. Just, you know, just doing stuff. So, yeah, that's it. Just a quick little update from What's Up Guy Garage. You can see got a shirt right here. Thanks to my wife. She had a couple shirts made up for me. It was really, it was cool. It was cool that she did that for me, you know what I mean? So one of the key things, ear protection, especially when you're working on any kind of metal work. So you can see right now, we've got that bend kind of coming down. And it's a combination of, believe it or not, this is actually one of my favorite tools to use for body work. And it's an old sheetrock hammer that I've had. It used to have the waffle print. Focus, right there. But using it over the years, it's kind of smoothed out. And what's happening is I took most of the curves out. And a lot of times it depends upon where you're going to back it up with a tool. So what I'm doing is I'm placing that tool further in where I can actually see. It's probably about, I'd say, 4 to 6 inches in where the material's flat, and that's where that bend wants to be. So you can see we've taken a good amount of that curve out of there. And it's a combination of hitting the top side, or technically this is the back side of the panel, but it's hitting that back curve right here on that edge, not like power hammering it. It's kind of like almost letting the tool or the hammer do the work, and that's a big thing. And this is a thicker gauge, you know, stainless metal. I'll just set the camera up just so you can see kind of like what I'm talking about, if this will even set up and not like smash onto the ground like before. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, that's right. Smash my lens. Oh, you're kidding me. Yep. Just broke it even more. Sweet. I'll just give you an idea of what I'm doing. It's probably going to be pretty loud, but I take the tool. I'm using the flat side of this dolly right now. This is called a dolly. I'm using the flat side right now because technically this area that I'm working in is flat. And then if I was going to go to a curved section, you can actually use the curved side of the dolly to go ahead and get on these curves, but I'm working on the flat. So basically, back it up, bring it in like 4 to 6 inches because I can see this is right here. It's about, I'd say, 3 inches in where the curve is. What it is that this dolly right here is giving a support on the underside, so when I tap this, it's almost as if it's like bringing the material kind of like down. And I can see what's real nice too is because this is a shiny material, you can kind of see the waves and then how it smooths out. So what I'm doing is I'm getting rid of the dip that's right here. You can actually see it right there in the reflection. And I've gotten a huge amount of it out so far, and it hasn't taken much, but I'll just show you what I'm talking about. So I just take it, back it up here, just like literally holding the hammer this way as I'm tapping on this leading edge right here. Looks like I folded it a little bit right there, but go ahead and fix that, you know what I mean? You can actually see the material itself. I can see the reflection straightening out. So as I like come to this section right here, when I'm looking at the reflection of the lights that I can see in on the ceiling, I can see we're basically straight. And as I come right here, this is when it starts to hook up right in this area right here. But I'm going to work on this middle section right here that got smacked. Now see, you can see already it's getting there. So see what I'm saying? There's a little bit of a whoop right there. There's a certain amount of stuff that's not going to come out. I guess my craziness of how I want this to look, it's probably going to take me longer to do it the way I want it to look because I'm trying to be a perfectionist and it's not going to happen on this. And it doesn't need to happen, but you can see that the curse is coming out. I've got that whoop right there. I just call it a whoop. It's just an up flare. And I'm going to start working on that now, but you can see this section I was just hammering on right here, how it's flattening out nice, and you can see by that reflection. It helps to have reflection sometimes. It tells you how you're doing. I have no idea like how bad it sounds, so I'm not going to keep hammering, but the idea is to take a tool, back it up back here. You can actually see there's like space. So, and I'm going to work this panel down. See what I mean? I'm going to work this panel down. See how that is? And if you brought the tool out to here, it's not going to do anything because we need the tool to back up underneath here. So right in this section right here is where we need the tool to be. And that's basically where the flat end starts. So the undeflected or non-malformed metal, that's where I'm placing the dolly, and I'm striking it on the edge right here to basically just kind of bring this or massage this back down. It's a slow process, but you know, this is just part of what I'm doing, you know, to make BigBlacks plow look better. Then sometimes the other determination is figuring out when and if you can work on the back side of the metal or when you want to swap the dolly position, and there's a reason for that. So we've got the panel now flipped over, and what you can see is there's a little bit of a dip right here, and what that is what I'll try to explain what I'm doing. So now what I want to do is I want to take the dolly and I want to place the dolly up against this kind of like leading edge right here, and then see if I can do this. All right. So I want to take the dolly, place it on that leading edge like I was saying right there, just like that. And I'll end up actually putting it this way. So I'm going to place it that way, and then I'm going to start tapping on this section right here because I want this section of the material to basically meet this section of material. And technically what's going to happen is as I tap this kind of humped area right here down, it's going to basically, because I'm going to be applying palm pressure more on this, but it's still going to kind of be flat. But when you look at it, you can see how there's a gap. Oh, come on, show me right there. Okay, so see the gap? So what you're doing is you're kind of like, you're going to smooth out that gap by basically tapping in the reversed situation. So instead of having the panel and then wailing on it from under here and then keeping the flat dolly on that side, now what I'm doing is I'm actually switching it out because it's hard to explain. Unless you've like done, you know, metal work before, it doesn't necessarily mean the way It doesn't necessarily mean one way is the only way it's going to work, if you kind of get what I'm saying. You sometimes have to do it like the opposite way to achieve a better result. So here I am saying I wish I had something to put this on. All I got to do is just wheel my OEM tray over, which has my stuff on it, and then basically I can lower it to whatever position I need. So this will work out. And you can see right there, there's a couple of marks on this that I'm going to take. Yeah, see right there? That was from pushing snow that was too heavy, and it kind of pushed the blade up, and I'm going to take those marks out of there. Just what I'm going to do. So, let's move some of the stuff over. Put that on there. Lower this tray down. Like that. Nice. Alright, so that works. So, take the dolly and I'm going to stick it like that. And I'm going to tap it on this side right here. And then, what's nice is I can see the hump. I can see right where it is. And you can probably see it too right now, the way I'm holding this. So you can see that that's like a curve right there. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be applying underneath pressure here while kind of having the dolly flat in a way, but applying just a little bit of pressure here. And I'm going to tap on that edge right there. And what that's going to do is kind of like, in a sense, bring it down, but it's kind of bringing this up. I don't know. Just watch. You'll see what I'm talking about. So I can see right here. So I'm going to take my dolly and stick it there. You can actually hear it. It's not hard hit either. The reason why I'm not doing anything, I'm not putting anything to back it up, is because I can see that this little section right there, I did want to kind of tap down. Difference to like when you're striking the actual, when the dolly is backed up in between the metal. Listen to the noise. See how it's like a more solid hit? Like I'm saying, I'm more applying that pressure. It's kind of like keeping the dolly flat, but it's really not. I am applying a little bit of pressure to kind of keep the dolly kind of in that arched position. Another thing that I was taught a long time ago on my hammers was you take a piece of tape and you throw tape on there and it kind of gives it kind of like a softer blow, but I don't need that to happen here. But yeah, you can see. So just look at the difference now. See how that's literally coming almost flat? I can see there is a little section. Oh, this could focus. There's a little section right here that I want to take care of. See that right there? I think you can see it. So it's like right here. So I'm actually going to see. Now the automatic thing is for me to go the opposite, because I can see what I want the metal to do. It's like bouncing the metal, and that's what I want. It's looking nice. Now you're gonna see, you will see like little waves and stuff. Like this, I want to work it the other way because it's got a little bit of a divot pushing down right there, and if I take the dolly and stick it here, it would be better for me to see it from the other side, but I know where I'm hitting, so. You can actually, you can hear it in the metal. The sound, you can hear the change on the sound. It's like it has an air gap, and then you're slowly closing that air gap, you know? But, see what I'm saying? See how the panel's looking now? You don't see that hook like you saw before. It's disappearing. So that's actually looking pretty nice. And I mean, this is just a plow blade, but I don't know, just, it's already off. I'm going to do what I can to make it look nice, you know? That's what's up guy garage. That's how I do it, you know what I mean? Just whatever, you know? Just do stuff. Nice. So as you can see, as you bring your hand across, right? So what you do is you take a flat edge, straight edge, whatever. I'm using this fine file. And you basically just put it on the metal, and as you drag it up, you can see little sections where light will come through. Focus. See, like, you can see a little bit of light right there. And then it disappears, but then this section humps up. But this right here, this is all factory. So as you scrape this across, you can actually see that this section of the panel is a little bit higher. I know I'm going a little nuts. This is just a plow, but just kind of like showing you different ways or different, you know, things that, you know, you do. So the next step would be to feel with your hand, right? So as I'm running this with my hand, I can actually feel like this section right here dips down, and then right after it, this little piece dips up. And then to kind of confirm that, as you watch that reflection go, so you can see it dips down right there, so you can see how the reflection bends, and then as you get right there, it dips back up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap this down and tap that up. So I'm going to put the dolly on top of here, and I'll put the hammer under here, and that will basically flip it. The only other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and kind of dress these edges here, because when it struck whatever it struck, it did leave burrs, and then hammering it is kind of, you know, just deforming it. And I'm going to give it, you know, like a nice file this way, and then take any burrs off going that way. And then I might just kind of glide this over just to see how it looks. It actually feels pretty good. Doesn't sound too bad either, you know. So kind of where we are now with how this is and how it looks. It actually looks really good for a plow blade. But this is where you'd go ahead and use body filler, give a real light skim coat, got the metal into position right where we wanted it to be, prime it, guide coat it, and just, you know, go nuts, you know. So yeah, that's it. So the other thing too, sometimes with body work, you also have to know when to stop. So we're not going to take that metal any further. It's actually looking real good. There was something that was bugging me here, but I just took care of it, and then as I'm going over it, there was a little nick right there that's gone. It's just, you know, you have to know when to quit, when to stop, because sometimes you can take it too far and it actually works against you. So just take it for what it's worth. The other thing too is, as far as working metal goes, grab yourself a cheap set, get yourself a throwaway piece of metal, like an old hood or a fender from something that, you know, somebody's tossing or doesn't want, and practice, you know, working metal. I mean, just practice, you know what I mean? That doesn't look too bad considering what it looked like, so I'm happy. And literally, like I said, this is just a plow blade that I'm kind of going nuts on. So, prime example of what I was talking about with that tape trick. So what you do is you just take tape and you put it on the edge of that hammer, because it still is going to leave waffle marks, and I'd rather not have those marks on the front of the plow, especially like where this damage is. This was, it's actually what happened was the snow pushed down on this, and this is one of those X braces which kind of stayed in position. So we're down here, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put the dolly on the underneath side here, and then tap down on this section right here, and that should cause those pieces to pull up. But you just take a piece of tape and you just stick it on the end there, and that way it creates less surface damage or scarring damage. Trying to figure out if there's a way to show like a front to back shot, like if there's a way to split that camera kind of almost down the middle so you can see it, but because of the way the blade curves, you kind of can't do it. But you can see I'm taking that, you can see that piece right there, that's that X brace, and we've kind of actually brought it down a touch while bringing these dents out. and I can feel that this dent right here needs to come out. You can actually see it right there, and it basically goes all the way through, and we've already brought that out a good amount. You can see it. It looks a lot better, but I want it to look a lot better than what it looks like right now. I mean, once I throw this on here, so you can see it right there. You see that? How do I? Just saw it. Right there. Right. Oh, my finger's in the way. Right. Actually, with the black shirt, it shows up better. Right there. So I'm going to take that out. That's actually pushed that way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the dolly behind there, and I'm actually going to tap with the hammer on this side. And what that should do is that should actually push that centerpiece to you. So the other thing is that it's not always about using metal hammers, because I'm going to use this small rubber mallet right now, because what I've got is I've got a little bit of a high spot right here. You can see it right there. And I want to basically use the strength of the metal that surrounds it to kind of keep it in place. So what I'm going to do is, instead of creating a bunch of divots on here, I'm going to use the rubber mallet, which it'll just form this area just a little bit better. Let's see if I can get that in the shot. Watch the camera fall over again. All right, how about that? You probably can't even see it though. It's like right there. So what I'm going to do is I can feel there's a high spot right here. So I'm going to just put my hand underneath, kind of like support here and here as I whack. What it's doing is it's allowing me to be able to give it some good wax and cover a larger surface area. Feel it's like right there. See it. Not completely gone. It definitely took out a lot of what was going on. You can still see that there's some waves, but it's, just all a part of working that material. There was a nice hump right here, got rid of that. And then this actually feels nice and smooth right here, right now. I do have a little ripples right here, but I mean, we're talking about a stainless steel plow blade, but I'm just, working it, It's not all about using metal hammers. Sometimes you just have to use something else, like a rubber hammer. I just threw some paint on there, and it's looking nice. It's setting up. It was just important just to get some of these, critical areas, like in those welds. I found in those corners right there where they take and basically weld a piece of metal on the edge, and what happens is over time, dirt and whatever gets kind of wedged in that area, and if you don't clean it out, it just sits in there and rots it. So I, took my scraper, the one that I keep saying, I keep talking about all the time, this one right here, and I got in there and really scraped into that area, into those areas, and then blew it out with my gun, and then just cleaned it up, sanded it a little bit, cleaned it up, just threw some paint on it. We're getting rid of this edge, so that doesn't really matter. But yeah, I got the paint all in those grooves right there, so it's just, it's going to look nice, So it's just, and again, this is just the way I do it. This is just the maintenance that I need to do for my plow. We're not going for a 10-point auto restoration thing on this, as you can see. This doesn't matter. This wasn't about restoring this plow. This is about making this plow make money for me while maintaining it and keeping it, in good condition. So, but down there it looks nice. Oil life, 0%. So we'll go ahead and do an oil change in this car and get that squared away for her. Love my wife.